Hi everyone, welcome back to the garden. I'm going to take you around a quick walk and show you what I've accomplished, which is not much. Because of my neck, I've been trying to take it super slow, and I only was able to get out one day this past weekend and do any cleanup, and I only worked for less than 2 hours just to make sure I wasn't going to stir up any issues there. And my neck did have a little issues afterwards, but the past 2 days have been pretty good. So the heat we have been having, or the temperature in general, it was 75 degrees yesterday, which is super unusual for March in Ohio. And it is causing some of the plants to obviously start pushing growth. I've been seeing some leaves. Actually, my willow is starting to develop leaves, which is pretty early. It's pushed a lot of the bulbs out of the ground really quickly, and so I'll show you a few of those. I don't have any blooms on any of the bigger daffodils, but we do have some blooms in that Color Blends woodland mix. And the only thing that I was able to get done was a little work to the raised vegetable garden. So let's go take a look. So I'll show you a picture on the screen of what this looked beforehand. I went ahead and removed the arbor that I have here and just put it elsewhere for now. I may stain that black and put it back in its place, or I may completely remove it. It's getting a lot of rot. It's been there for 5-ish years almost, and so it was looking kind of rough, and it's not holding together very well. So you can see the clover that I put down last year is doing really good. It's the end of the day, so the shadows are pretty harsh. But I went ahead and I wanted to show you this process in case you want to do something similar to your home with the EarthBoxes. And so these are the EarthBoxes. I'll take a picture or take you back there and show you where they're laid out right now. But they are plastic material that is plant safe, and so you fill it with soil. It has a self-watering reservoir, and you can buy actual self-watering adapters, and it is done really good against the side of the house. My dad helped me install this, and we just created kind of a shelf to put them on, and then I topped everything with the 1x4s, just like we still have over here. So this is what it looked like, and of course I'm removing all of this to instead put some metal raised beds here. I had some questions over the past couple years about, isn't that too close to your house? What about the water that kind of is up against your house? There's never been any soil up against the house right here. And in fact, I'll show you the soil right now. It's really dry under there. Because these containers are self-watering, they fill up. Any excess will kind of flow over if it's we get rain or anything, but because there's a level in there, it cuts off watering automatically when the level gets full. So under here, you can actually see that the ground's cracked because it's so dry, and this has just been covered for 3 or 4 years, and so this is really dry soil down here. You can see probably some white from maybe some excess organic fertilizer that I applied or something like that. Not sure what that is, but you'll also see the irrigation tube that watered all of these containers automatically. So each one had a emitter on it that connected to the self-watering device that EarthBox provides. And it went all the way around here. Now, if you're a beginner gardener, I really liked the EarthBoxes. I'm not sponsored or affiliated with EarthBox. I have no links to share with you. They don't even offer any type of affiliation programs, but I've had those for, I think, 5 years now. They were the first things that I purchased when I was looking at designing that space up there, and also something self-watering as a beginner gardener when I started 5 years ago or so. So I think they would be really good for you if you were interested in them. They make some that are square, which I didn't have as much success with. I think the water system just didn't hold as much water, and I just didn't have as success as the original rectangular boxes. And you can daisy chain them together, of course, and what I found most valuable was the self-watering aspect of them, combined with the system and the sensors that you have to buy. It did a wonderful job allowing me to grow peppers. That's where I grew my peppers for the past 4 years or so, up against the house where they got plenty of heat. My herbs have grown really well in them. I've grown lettuces in them, which I've shared in videos before. What I really love about them, which they're not really targeted for, is for cuttings. I'll show you right quick, and I may have accidentally showed you unknowingly in this photo, but when I take cuttings of plants, or if I just prune material, I bring it over and I stick it in the earth boxes. And because they're self-watering and tend to hold lots of water, in some cases they root. This one did not. And you can see how dry it is, but this one's green. And I'm not going to pull on it because it's stuck in the ground, which indicates it has developed some roots. And so these are boxwood cuttings that I just stuck in there. I've actually got a cutting of a Rose of Sharon and another one that I took out that will probably get transplanted somewhere this year, or I'll give that away. I think it works really well for that. And I don't give it any special attention because it's always got water. It just does pretty well there. If you don't have a green stalk, I never found a whole lot of success with green stalk myself. I actually gave mine away because it didn't have any self-watering capabilities currently. And I have an issue keeping them watered, and the hot sun just dehydrates the soil so bad that if you don't water them every day, in my experience, I didn't have a whole lot of luck with them. But the earth boxes, because they do offer a self-watering system and there is an actual reservoir, even if you don't purchase the separate sensors, those, for me, as someone who is not the most reliable person at watering things, worked really well. So I'm going to take you around and show you some of the bulbs right now. Like I mentioned, I might do a bulb tour. I can understand now why Laura from 𝗩𝗜𝗏𝗘𝗢𝗧𝗦 doesn't really do bulb tours, because the bulbs bloom over a period of months, and you have to shoot footage over a period of months, and it's just a long, drawn-out process. So I was anticipating doing something like that, but I've already missed the snowdrops. I didn't get any of those blooms recorded, but the color blends bulbs are starting to bloom. The woodland mix is what it's called. So let's take a look at those. They're made up of daffodils, 𝗬𝗟𝗡𝗧𝗦, I think it's called, crocus, and maybe some other things in here that are really kind of cool. So these are the little daffodils. They are the cutest little thing. They're only, 4 inches tall, 4 or 5 inches tall. And we have these nice blue flowers, these white ones and the yellows. And I planted the entire mix kind of right here around this tree. There's, of course, lots of weeds and grasses I need to come and pull out as part of my spring cleanup, but I think it's just darling here. I did tuck some of the other woodland blends around borders and stuff, and you can see them coming up here and in several different places, the crocuses and the daffodils. And this is some of the issues where I'm seeing plants push growth. This is a candy corn Spirea. Its spring foliage is really beautiful, this nice dark red color, but it's really early to be pushing this type of growth. And so I'm concerned about the damage it might incur. Just this weekend, we're getting temperatures in the 20s. So this may get damaged and get knocked back a little bit. The other Spirea I have here, I think that's Big Bang, is not pushing any growth yet. So the roses are starting to come out, which isn't as much of a problem. They tend to be a little more tolerable of the cold around here. And then, of course, we have the irises, which are coming up, which probably are okay. They'll be fine. But this lemony lace elderberry that I showed you multiple times before has pushed even more growth. And this is very unusual and really early for it. So I'm afraid this one's going to get nip backed. It's in a little protected location here next to the house, so it may be okay, but hopefully we don't have any single-digit temperatures coming up. A lot of my daffodils are getting ready to burst in the next week, so I'll do a video on that when we start getting a little more blooms. This one may be open in the next couple days, but you can see all those blooms there. These were planted a few years ago, so they're starting to clump nicely. Something that's really exciting that I didn't think I would see this year, because I planted these hellebores plugs I found at a local discount plant store. They are blooming for me. And so this is like the wedding party mix, I think it's called, from Walter's Gardens. And so we have some. These are just green or yellow. The pink's really pretty. A few last fleeting glances of the snowdrops. This may be one of the only blooms I have left. Then we have all of these gorgeous hellebore blooms that are established for a few years now. So they're looking really nice. And the lungwort's already blooming. So you can see that beautiful pink, purple, and bluish tones here in their very early spring blooms. I've taken a look at my dahlias and I don't see any popping up right now. I'm going to probably start uncovering those in the coming weeks, because since they're tinted, I don't want them to start pushing growth any earlier than they need to. So hopefully that will kind of slow down as I need to replant those in the new beds that I'll be putting in within the next month. That's going to do it for today's video. My GoPro is running out of